Hello, welcome to my podcast channel and also to the English series. In this series, I'm going to talk about everything that is new and interesting that happened in a month. Maybe it's an interesting person that I met or some sort of conversation that I had with them, or maybe I'm going to talk about some special events or some recommendations regarding books, movies, songs, anything like that. So I'm going to talk about everything. This is kind of like a monthly report or monthly reflection, whatever you call it. I'm making this episode on the 13th of August, but I'm going to talk about my July. So yeah, I'm going to start by telling you a very fun experience that I had in Nha Trang City of Khánh Hòa province in my country, Vietnam. This is kind of like a geography lesson. Okay, so I had a very fun experience being a speaker at an event in Nha Trang. This event was organized by high school students about studying English, and the event was in English as well. I've been to so many events, but this event is really memorable to me because of so many things. First of all, as I told you before, the event was organized by an English club of high school students. Remember the first event, but it was so well prepared from the invitation to the welcoming and also on the event day. Talking about the welcoming, for your information, I'm living in Dalat City, which is 140 kilometers away from Nha Trang City. The organizers had booked everything for me, from traveling to accommodation. I didn't have to do anything. They also gave me flowers on the first day of arrival. I didn't ask them to do so, and if they didn't do that, that's totally fine. But when I came to my hotel room and saw some flowers and the welcoming letter, I was really impressed. It was really thoughtful of them to do so. Yeah. One more thing, they came, picked me up, and took me around Nha Trang on a local tour. So everything was really unexpected and interesting. I've been repeated this word so many times, but as I told you before, I'll share with you everything that is interesting in this episode. So yeah, this experience is really interesting to me. And what's special about this experience is not only about this kind of thing. On the event day, when I arrived in the venue, I was really surprised when I saw there were some primary and secondary school students. Yeah, let me remind you one thing, this event is in English. And the fact that some of the primary and secondary school students showed up really impressed me. They not only had the ability to understand the language, but also there was a secondary school girl raising her hand to ask some questions about studying English. I realized English has become something that is so popular. As a person who have learned so many things on the internet by having English, I would say that there are more studying opportunities for people nowadays when they have English. So yeah, I'm really happy to see primary and secondary school students who have a demand to study this language. I know that Nha Trang is a big city, and some of us may say that studying English in cities like this is easier for them comparing to the rural areas. This is true somehow, but what I'm talking about here is the popularity of the language, and I strongly believe that we need to have the first step of having some students in big cities to love the language so that in the future we'll move to the next step of bringing English to the rural areas. And this is also something that I want to do. Hopefully, I can contribute to the development of English teaching in the rural areas of Vietnam. So yeah, let's get back to the event stuff, okay? I just want to tell you one more thing. I was once a speaker in an English event before this event in Nha Trang. But at that time, I gave the presentation that I had prepared beforehand, so this is totally different. This time is the first time that I have joined an English event that is interactive. I mean, I had to answer the questions from the host and also the audience. I was really nervous at first, of course. It reminds me of the time when I had to speak English in front of my classmates during my high school years. But after some minutes talking to the host and also the audience, I realized that I could communicate somewhat effectively and fluently. And after the event, I had a feeling like now I can do so many more English events. Kind of like that. So what I want to say is that everything has its first time, and the first time is always the time that is worst when it comes to emotions. Maybe it's fearsome, you feel nervous somehow. But I believe that whenever there is fear, there are also some lessons, some interesting experiences, and something that you can learn. Yeah, that's basically everything about my experience being a speaker in an English event. Maybe when you listen to this episode, it's gonna be around 10 minutes, but I have been talking for 30 minutes. It's really hard to speak this language and record it as a podcast episode. But yeah, I'm thirsty right now. I'm gonna drink some water, and if you have some kind of coffee or tea around you, just drink it. Just consider this episode as a coffee date between us, okay? So yeah, I'm gonna drink now. Wait a minute, I'm gonna be right back. Okay, let's move to the next stuff that I want to tell you. It's all about my YouTube channel, but it's not the YouTube channel that I post this podcast on. I have another YouTube channel where I share my personal life. I would say that it's my personal YouTube channel. Okay. The other YouTube channel that I have named Anh is here. My name is Anh. And yeah, the YouTube channel named Anh is here. Okay. I used to post on a weekly basis on that YouTube channel, but it's not the last 1 year. I took a rest from that YouTube channel for more than a year to have some redirection. And now I'm officially coming back. This time I tried a new style of video editing, and also that was the first time I used a software called After Effects to create some motion graphics in my vlogs. I would say that it's really difficult to do. It took me more than a month to film and also more than 2 weeks to edit that video. It was really challenging, but you know what? I love challenges. So yeah, I just want to share with you guys that I have just posted a new video on the other YouTube channels of mine named Anh is here. And in the future, I'm gonna post more with the new direction. I'm working on it. So yeah, stay tuned. Okay, that's basically all about it. So one last thing I want to share with you guys is a book recommendation. In July, I read a book named Reasons to Stay Alive from Matt Haig. MATT space HAIG. Okay, Matt Haig. This book is a memoir of the author about his struggle with depression. I've been interested in mental illnesses, especially depression and OCD and anxiety for so long, and I've been reading so many books about this topic, and this book is great. It's a real story of the author. In this book, he mentioned how tough it is to have depression, what it's really on his mind, how he overcame it, and how to treat a person with depression from his experiences, kind of like that. So I found this book really helpful because I have some friends who are suffering depression, and after reading this book, I learned so many things about how to deal with some problems they are facing. So there is a part of this book which is really touching and cute somehow. The part is Reasons to Stay Alive, the same as the title. In this part, he asked some people with mental illnesses just like him about the reasons that keep them stay alive. I'm gonna read that part for you guys so that maybe you can feel the feeling that I had. Wait a minute, I'm gonna find that section in the book. I'm using Kindle, that's why you can't hear any sound of papers. Okay, here. So the question is, what are the reasons that keep you stay alive? Somebody says, not everyone thinks you are as much of a waste of space as you do when in the depths of depression. Trust others and stay alive. That's the first one. Somebody says, my reason to stay alive is the dog always need walking in the morning. This is so cute. Somebody says, I don't know how to pronounce this word. Surgeon. I'm gonna search for it. I'm sorry, wait a minute. Surgeon. Okay, surgeon is a doctor who is trained to perform medical operations. Okay, surgeon. S-U-R-G-E-O-N. In case you need it. So the full answer is, the surgeons worked so hard to give me the future that I deserve to have. That's why I need to stay alive. Oh my god, there are so many more of these that are about friends, family, pets, kind of like that. For some people, the reason for them to be alive is just something really simple. So yeah, I highly recommend this book for some of you guys who really want to learn more about depression, how it's like to suffer it, and how to treat people with depression. I'm gonna put it in the I'm gonna put the link of the book in the description. I don't know if it's available in Vietnamese, but when you can listen to this podcast, I strongly believe that you can read the book in its original language. Okay, so that's everything about this episode. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. I really appreciate that. I hope to see you in the next episodes, even the Vietnamese episodes or the English episodes. Last words, if you are listening in the morning or the afternoon, I wish you a great day ahead. If you are listening in the evening, I wish you a good night. Okay, thank you so much one more time. Hope to see you in the future. Bye then.